Hi everyone, this is Joe. As you probably know by now, this year I'm trying really hard to keep all the episodes under a half hour. So what you're about to hear is half an episode. This is the monthly bit where Valerie and I sit down and we review all the movies and TV and all that stuff that we watched and we talk about it. So the first half is that, and then the second half is the feedback from last time that Valerie and I sat down. The other thing to mention, we mentioned it in there a little bit, is that this is the last time that this segment is showing up on the Decahedron RPG podcast. It's not really gaming material, so I am taking this and we are starting a different feed for this. It will be on Substack. Haven't set it up yet, but that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a monthly podcast, one episode a month, probably an hour plus a little bit, however long we talk. It's not going to be on meter, just, sit down, talk, move on. So any feedback that you leave for this episode will be played on that other podcast, whatever it turns out to be called. Right now I'm thinking about calling it Monthly Media Mayhem. I don't know. I like the alliteration of the three M's there. But I'm not married to that title. If you have a better title idea, by all means, let me know. The other thing I want to mention is that our levels were way off. I was recording on the Rode NT-USB, and she was recording on the Rode, my other Rode. It's a dynamic mic instead of a condenser mic. Anyway, she was recording on that one, which is what she normally uses. And I do that because she has a louder voice, so it balances out because that has a lower pickup. But her pickup was really, really low. And so the levels are going to be a little wonky on this episode. I apologize. I think I figured out what caused it. So in the future episodes, that will not be an issue. If you're looking for gaming content, like I said, it won't be this episode. It won't be next episode because that will be replying to the feedback sent to this one last month. The episode after that, I am talking about a new game idea I had, scenario idea type thing. And I'm calling it right now, my working title is Legend of the Flying Fish and the Jade Dragon. I don't know, that enough of a teaser to keep you interested? Anyway, thanks for listening. Let's get on with the show.
Welcome to the Decahedron RPG podcast, hosted by Joe. Welcome to the Decahedron RPG podcast. Enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Val.
And we're here to talk about movies and entertainment. This is probably the last time that this segment's going to show up on the Decahedron RPG podcast. And what we're going to do is we're going to still do this. We're going to still sit down every month, but we're going to do it as its own podcast. And that kind of makes sense because Decahedron is a RPG podcast. And although I'm going to try my best to tie these into gaming as much as I can, it really belongs on its own. And so That's what we're going to do. I might even split this one out, once I do the edit, make the feed and everything, put this out as a test run too. But this will be on the Decahedron RPG podcast. We are talking about the movies and TV series that we watched during the month of February, even though by the time this comes out, it will probably be April, the very last week of March. And there were 11 of them, and I have them split up pretty much in how we saw them, right? Theatrical movies, television movies, and then television series. And the first, we had two theatrical movies, and the first one of those was Argyll. Argyll is kind of a high-action spy comedy, and it starred
Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, and Bryce Dallas Howard. They were the big names for that, but there was quite a few names showed up in this movie, though. John Cena has a little small part in it. Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara, and a little bit of Dua I can't say her name. Dua Lipa? I'm not even sure how you say it. She's a singer. But for anybody that knows her, she's kind of dabbling in acting now. So it was kind of cool to see her.
So I thought the opening was a little over the top. The action, I was like, this is completely unrealistic. But then something happens, and I'm going to be a little spoiler-free here. I'm going to be a lot spoiler-free. Something happens, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why that was like that. And then the rest of the movie unfolds, and with that in mind, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's cool. And it was fun. It was that there was this one gun scene kind of middle to end that I just loved. But beyond that, we're spoiler free, so I'm not going to say anything else other than I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I also liked it. I was kind of surprised Henry Cavill wasn't as big in this as what I thought he was going to be. I feel like Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell were more the big names, but I mean, he's Henry Cavill, so he's going to get top billing. It was good though. I loved it as a spy action movie. It was really good.
So Bryce Dallas Howard is little Opie's daughter?
Ron Howard, yes.
Richie Cunningham?
Ron Howard, yes. I think you forget how old we are. There are people out there that'll be, who's that?
Who's
Ron
Opie?
Howard? Ron Howard?
Who's Richie Cunningham?
Exactly.
As for gaming, because I will try to tie this into gaming, yeah, I think this would work well as a gaming scenario. The whole universe it's set in is well suited for Top Secret. That you're not going to know the game names, but Top Secret is a espionage game originally published from TSR back in the early 80s, late 70s, around there. You could do like the James Bond RPG easily with this, GURPS espionage. Any of those would work. And you could definitely have fun in this universe.
So while I'm not a gamer, I do know a lot about the RPG stuff. Yeah, I could see that would be really cool as a game.
All right, the next movie we watched was Wonka, which is kind of a prequel to the
Willy Wonka?
The
Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I was going to say the Gene Wilder version. I've never seen the Johnny Depp version, so I don't know if this fits into the Johnny Depp universe as much, because I thought Johnny Depp covered the origin story a bit.
A little bit. I don't think this really makes for a problem, though.
So as we just hinted at, this is the origin story for Willy Wonka. And it starred Timothy Chalamet, I know that one,
yeah,
and the Prime Minister from Nine and a Half Weeks. No, that's
Hugh
a whole
Grant.
Different movie.
Hugh Grant, yeah, that was a different movie.
Oh, but he was in that, right? 9.5 Weeks, that was him.
He was not in 9.5 Weeks.
9 months? He was in something
9
with
months,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Not 9.5 Weeks is a totally different movie. He pretty much stole every scene he was in, I will say.
Yeah, I was not expecting him to be in the role he was in. And
I think most people know what role he has. We won't say it, though, just to not give it away. But yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah,
really funny.
That was. I thought this was going to be a little more kiddie than it was. It's still, I mean, there's nothing family inappropriate about it. I would have no problem bringing little kids to it if I still had any. But I found it very entertaining on its own. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I'm trying to think of any faults. No, not really.
So I'll be the devil's advocate here. So it was a good story. The acting was really good. Olivia Colman was also in it. Anybody that saw Broadchurch with David Tennant will know her.
Oh, Broadchurch was amazing.
Yeah, so she's really good in it. Timothy Chalamet was good in it. There was some singing in it. And the singing's okay. The songs are not great, though. For anybody that's going to criticize, I think that's where they're going to be like, why? But it kind of lends itself to that type of movie. I mean, it's Wonka. It's supposed to be fantasy. It's supposed to be that kind of, so I get it.
So
but that would be my only complaint, really.
So it's interesting that you said that, because until you said that, I had completely forgotten that there was music in it, because it was that forgettable.
I agree.
There was one song I remember liking, but it wasn't even a full song.
He's not a bad singer. It's not about the singing itself. The songs are just kind of crap, not going to lie. Just my opinion.
Yeah, they're there.
But the movie was pretty good, though. I did enjoy the movie, but honestly, Hugh Grant made that movie for me.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Hysterical.
From a gaming perspective, I wouldn't try this one.
Nah.
No.
Nope. Can't even go there.
Okay, so those were the two that we saw in the theater. The next one was a movie, but we watched it on Apple TV Plus. It starred Mark Wahlberg. He is from Marky Mark in the Miami Sound Machine.
Oh my God. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Seriously.
Yeah, that's it.
Seriously? He's from like a million movies. Come on now. So Michelle Monaghan plays his wife. For anybody that doesn't know who she is, I actually had to look her up because I thought, she looks familiar. She was in 2 of the Mission Impossible movies.
Okay.
I don't really know a whole lot about her, but that's who she is. If anybody looks at her and says, she looks familiar, I had to actually look that one up.
So I found this one very reminiscent of True Lies, not a scene-by-scene remake or anything, but just in broad strokes, the overall theme behind it, with Mark Wahlberg being the...
Ex-assassin.
Pardon me?
He was an ex-assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, who was the lead in True Lies? I want to say Arnold, but that could have been
Schwarzenegger.
It was Arnold.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, okay.
I can't say his name. My tongue is tied. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So pretty much is Marky Mark in the...
Seriously, Mark Wahlberg. He hasn't been Marky Mark in the Funky Bunch in a long time. Because if you're going to go down that road, he was also a Calvin Klein model. He's more known for his acting.
I think his hamburgers are great.
I can't.
We have eaten at Wahlburgers.
We have. They were really good. You can thank his brothers for that because his other brother is a chef. He really created Wahlburgers. So let's not give credit where it's not due.
Donnie Wahlberg is a chef?
Not Donnie Wahlberg. Come on now. He's an actor. He's
All right.
on, I don't know what it is.
I'm doing that on purpose now.
Yes, you're trying to irritate me.
But yeah, but we seriously have eaten at Wahlburgers. There was one in Springfield, Massachusetts when we were driving through, and we said, we have to stop there because we ate at Bobby Flay's hamburger place.
They were good.
Like, yeah, I liked it a lot. But yeah, as for the movie, it was fun. It was enjoyable. Yeah, I liked it. I would recommend it.
It was very good. I liked it. It was well done. The kids in it were really good. I don't know. I guess my complaint would be that it's so predictable. Like, all of it was very predictable.
Oh, yeah.
As you said. But it's a formula, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of that type of movie. But it was really good, and it was kind of funny, too. There were a lot of good, funny things in it, too. So, I mean, it's your typical good action kind of movie. It'll keep, if nothing else, it's entertaining. I'm okay with those kind of movies. I know some people don't like those, but listen, it's a good popcorn movie.
Oh yeah, I would not call this high art. In fact,
not.
None of these that we have listed today is a high art movie, right? They are all turn off your brain, enjoy some popcorn, watch the movie.
Definitely.
From a gaming perspective, I think this would be a cool little one-shot type thing. I don't think you'd build a whole campaign around it, but yeah, you could do it. Not sure I'd want to, but you could. All right, next is from Netflix, and of all the Netflix things we have on here to talk about, this is the only one that's American.
It's actually kind of funny. We do tend to end up in the other languages, even on my own Netflix, because I have watched some stuff that's not in English. And so once you do that, then they recommend other stuff. And you're like, this looks good too. Let me watch that.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the great things about Netflix, right? Is because we get to see things we would not otherwise see, right?
100%.
We would, we'll talk more when we get to the other ones. This one was called Fool Me Once. It is a Harlan Coben based series. It's a mini series. We love mini series.
Yes.
They don't call them that anymore. They call them limited series because mini series got a bad name.
Yeah.
It's just like we were talking about last episode with comics versus animated features.
Oh,
right? Let's change the name so people don't think it's the same thing. But yeah. Anyway, so this was Harlan Coben. Harlan Coben writes mysteries, I guess I would call them.
Yeah.
Suspense mysteries,
psychodramas.
psychodramas.
Kind of thing. Yeah, those psychodrama.
And he has kind of a formula too, that not in that when you watch it, you're like, oh, this is just like all the other stuff. But the feel of, it's always a person or a family that something happens to. And as the story evolves, you unravel their past, which ties into the current thing usually. But in this case, I wrote down a little note there to remind me which this one was about versus the other, but I don't even want to say that for fear. I think that's a spoiler.
You can't.
I think what we can say is that a woman has just lost her husband, and then the mystery begins.
Chaos ensues, yeah.
All the above.
So, two of the people that are in this, I don't know her, Michelle Keegan. I have no idea who she is. I've never seen her in anything, so I can't say what else she's been in. But Richard Armitage is in this. He was in the Hannibal series, which I loved because I'm obsessed with gore and all that stuff. He was also the Dwarf King in The Hobbit, for anybody that doesn't know he is. Because I thought that was kind of cool. Because, again, he's one of those ones where I was like, I know him from something. And it was pretty good. I actually liked this.
There's a reason why we watch all the Harlan Coben series when they come out. Because we like them.
Plus, it's nice because I usually can't figure out who the person of interest is. Like, they are good at leading you astray, and I like that because 90% of the time when we watch stuff, I figured out who done it right in the beginning.
Right.
And I don't like that. I like to be surprised. There's lots of good surprises in this and in the Harlan Coben stuff, just in general. He's good at that.
And what's interesting about the Harlan Coben series, because Harlan Coben, by the way, I don't know if we said it, is a novelist.
Yes.
So he writes all these suspense novels and mystery novels, I guess. And then Netflix makes them into movies. But what's interesting is this case it was Netflix USA, but sometimes it's Netflix USA, sometimes it's Netflix UK, sometimes it's Netflix Spain. We have watched Harlan Coben stories from like 3, 4, 5 different countries.
True.
And so
they're worth watching, though. If anybody, even if they don't like this particular movie, those movies in the series, the series in general are really good.
Yeah, I like them all. And again, we like miniseries because they have a beginning, they have an end. There's never a cliffhanger. There's never, we have to wait for next season. There's not a next season because it got canceled. It's a full story told, and it's done. And
I love that.
I love that. Yep.
I definitely like that better.
All right. Next one. Before we go to the next one, from a gaming point of view, actually, unless I say otherwise, all the rest of these will not work for gaming. Because, again, this is a lot of these are along the same vein, even though this is the only Harlan Coben we have. But they are mysteries, and as you're going through the story, you're also unraveling the main character's backstory, which was kept hidden from the audience. And that doesn't work for gaming unless your character, for some reason, doesn't have their own memory, which is another thing. All right, so the next one is from Netflix Germany, and it was called Dear Child. And
I don't know how you're going to talk about this one without giving away the whole story.
I've been trying to remember the very opening scene. It opens up inside the home, right?
I can't remember.
So.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it opens up with these children and their mother inside a home, and then Daddy comes home, and everything unravels from there.
And they don't show him at all. And they are very good at keeping you guessing as to who he could be. I will say that because we did kind of at some points go, maybe it's that person. Oh, no. Okay. But that's okay. I like that.
Again, this was another miniseries. Beginning, end, tells a complete story. It was great. It kept us going the whole time. Some of the aspects of it, again, spoiler free, some of the aspects are so creepy.
100%.
And not creepy as in you're watching The Exorcist.
Right, not scary creepy.
Not supernatural creepy.
No.
Creepy in the sense that this could really happen.
Has a high ick factor.
And so, great. It was wonderful. If you like being creeped out, Dear Child was really good. Okay, on a lighter note, from Amazon was Upload Season 3. So, Upload.
Me too.
The premise of Upload is a virtual world, kind of like Meta's Metaverse, or way long ago, I used to play this thing called Second Life. That was a kind of virtual world thing. But it's a virtual world where you go when you die. So when you die, they upload you to this virtual world where you can then live out eternity. Season 1 explored that concept and it was great.
It was, I agree.
And Season 2 was like, we got another season. Well, what can we do? And Season 3 was like, we're still going.
I definitely was bored in season 3. It took a turn that I didn't really appreciate. I mean, the first season was really good. The premise is really kind of cool. And like your family can visit you and they pay for you to be uploaded. So depending on how much money you have, depends on how good your place you live in your upload is. So that was kind of cool. But it takes a turn. I did not like the 3rd season. I was like, I don't really care if I watch the season after that, if they have one.
Right.
I could see them being canceled because of that.
Well, not only that, it's Amazon. And Amazon started a new policy, which is we're going to show you ads even though you're paying for your Amazon Prime. And that takes the viewing experience and just flushes it down the toilet, if you ask me.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate the ads at all. I haven't watched ads really in a long time. If I watch anything, well, if we watch anything on TV, we usually record it and watch it later and skip over the ads. And then it's Netflix, Apple TV. So we don't really watch a lot of stuff with ads. They are short and there's not a lot of them, but it is annoying.
And speaking of Amazon and annoying ads, Reacher Season 2, also on Amazon. Again, with the ads, I'm so annoyed with the ads that I'm almost like I will never watch anything on Amazon again. But this show was really good, and we really liked Season 1. Season 2 wasn't exactly the same. It was different. I liked it. They explored the backstory of the character, so now we know where he came from and all that stuff. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I'm not sure I would do a Season 3 with ads, though.
Yeah, I don't feel as badly about that because I liked it. So, Reacher, the movie, was done by Tom Cruise. And while he was good in that role, and I liked him and I liked the movie, he doesn't really personify who Jack Reacher's supposed to be. He's supposed to be this big lug, like this big guy, and he can, like, you know, flick his wrist and knock out 5 guys kind of thing. So the guy that plays him now is Alan Ritchson. He auditioned to be Thor and didn't get it, which is kind of funny because he probably would have been all right as that too. But I feel like it's a good series. I like it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff on Amazon that we'll lose out on. But, I mean, I would still watch stuff with the ads. I don't like them, but I'm not going to not watch something. I mean, there used to be a time when we watched TV and that's all there was ads. We grew up on that, so, you know.
True.
Suck it up.
By the way, so from a gaming point of view, Reacher, I think, would make an excellent gaming world universe scenario. You know, you're the Reacher character or his friends coming together to solve crimes. Also, Upload, I think you can make that work as a gaming scenario. It would be interesting playing characters that are already dead, and there are still mysteries to be unraveled. So...
Oh, that could be kind of cool.
And they did do something interesting in the 3rd season, even though we otherwise slammed the 3rd season. They did do something interesting in giving the main character a way to interact with the real world, which could be also used from a gaming perspective. So another one, this one from Netflix UK. It's called Who is Erin Carter? It is not a Harlan Coben, but it's a lot like one. They can't hear you nod.
Sorry. I was nodding yes. I forget.
It is another mini-series, and in this one, it's pretty much a British mom and her daughter are in Spain, and they're in a grocery store when a robbery takes place, and almost like Long Kiss Goodnight, the mom turns into super heroine and saves herself and her daughter from this dangerous situation. That's all I can say without giving anything away.
I really liked it. I thought it was good. I liked how the story unfolded, and I do love a good short series because when it's done, and it was wrapped up in a way that, yes, the story's done, but you'd be okay with thinking that it could go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was all right with that. It was really good.
All right. So seeing that we're talking about really short shows, let's talk about A Nearly Normal Family. This was from Netflix Sweden. It's 6 episodes, but all of them put together is less than 5 hours. It was compelling. I don't know what to say about this one at all without giving anything away. It is about a daughter and her mother and her father going through some extreme events. It's all I can think to say without giving anything away.
But there's definitely stuff happens in the beginning of the movie. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like you're just not giving any information about any of these. How is anybody going to want to watch these? I mean, you can't just say, it's this story about a family. Okay. I mean, like, there's not enough information there. Like, if that was me and I heard that, I'd be like, well, why do I want to watch that? Like, I get you're trying not to do spoilers, but any of these could be looked up on Wikipedia, and it will tell you the whole story.
Right, but someone has to go out there and choose to look that up,
I
right?
understand that, but you have to give them a reason to watch it.
All right, so let's try it this way. So, in the beginning of this, something traumatic happens to the daughter. Later on, someone else turns up dead, and this whole thing is the story of trying to figure out how that person ended up dead.
Yeah, that's good.
Along with the interactions of these three people, the mother, the father, the daughter, and how life has brought them to this point.
Actually, yeah, that's actually a good description without giving away what happens and what doesn't happen, actually. So yeah, no, I thought it was really good. I liked it. It was, there wasn't too many surprises in there, I don't think, but it was good though. And some action, but more about a family dynamic, I think.
Yeah.
Don't seem so surprised. Sometimes I'm smart.
No, I mean, that was just a great way to, yeah, that's what makes it different, right? It's not about how someone ends up dead, just that. It's not just about this traumatic thing that happens to the girl. It's about how the family's coping with it, their dynamics and their, like the ripples in a pond.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be my name for it if I made it. Ripples in a pond. Okay. Next one we're going to talk about was from Netflix Brazil. This is not a miniseries. This was season 3 of a show called Good Morning Veronica. Season 1 was absolutely wonderfully brilliant and creepy. Just like Dear Child was creepy, it was creepy in a real world sense. It was, this could happen. There are people that unhinged in the world. So I don't think this is giving anything away. The first season involves a guy involved with sadomasochism to a wicked, horrible extreme.
Yes.
And yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Season 1, great. Right? We were like on our edges of our seat, and we were not so much, what's going to happen, but, rooting for the hero, well, the titular Veronica, that's a given. Season 2 was like, okay, yeah, I guess. Season 3 was like, all right, well, we've explored everything we have to explore. Let's just wrap it up in 3 episodes, which they did. So it's kind of like, let's tie together all the loose ends. I almost wish they had just said, let's not do it, but I did not like season 3 at all.
So I'll agree with you. So this is a Brazilian series.
Yes.
Because, we like to do all the countries. That sounded bad.
I'm leaving that in there.
Sure. So Veronica is a police officer. And so she's in charge of the case, I guess, and it's all about how she handles it and what she does with it. And
actually, in season 1,
so season 1,
she's only a secretary.
She's in the process of taking like her exam or something like that. Season 1, amazing, so good. I was like, oh yeah, get this guy, like, let's go. Season 2 was okay, it was good. I still liked it. Season 3, I was like, why? It's nice that they wrapped everything up. But it was a little too, like, let's put this all in a pretty package and, wrap everything up nicely. And I'm like, I don't think they need another season. I think they should have stopped at season 2.
But at least they wrapped everything up.
Yes.
And we won't have to worry about it again.
True.
Now, the other thing I will say, because I wrote a little note down here for myself, this was out of Netflix Brazil, and this is the third thing we've watched out of Netflix Brazil. Yep. The first one was a show called Omniscient.
Oh, loved that.
Omniscient was wonderful, although I'm wondering if it's one of those things where if they made a season 2, it would go downhill like this did.
Maybe.
So Omniscient was about, it's set like 20 minutes in the future type thing. And so it's our day-to-day life like we have it now, except everybody has a little robot that follows them around. They look like little dragonflies, and they record every single thing that happens around you. And in theory, nobody can look at that footage unless you're involved in a crime, and then they can go back and they can look at it. Or if you turn up dead under mysterious circumstances, they can go back and look at it to find out who killed you. The idea is to do away with all crime by introducing a constant surveillance state. The way they explored that was brilliant. My only complaint would be that there is a scene like halfway through the show where the main girl's friend gets naked with some guys for no reason that has anything to do with the plot. I just think that's a Brazilian thing, to be honest. But yeah, Omniscient was wonderful. Omniscient, I think, would make an amazing gaming scenario.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, gaming world
definitely.
with these little dragonflies flying and following everyone around and recording everything, but yet I don't think it's giving anything away. In the first episode, somebody shows up dead, and of course, their little dragonfly didn't record it. So what's happening there? So yeah, Omniscient was amazing, but yeah, that wasn't on our list because we saw that a couple years ago. But speaking of amazing, the last one on the list came from Netflix UK. It was called Bodies. It's based on a comic book. Sorry, a graphic novel.
Yeah.
And I think I can say with what I wrote down, will that spoil anything?
I don't think so, because it happens pretty early on.
So it's about time travel, but it's a time traveling corpse. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, that's actually pretty good. I loved this. I mean, I really thought this was very well done. This was really good.
Actually, I think I could give the basic premise and it won't give too much away, right? Because I said time traveling corpse, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There's this body, a dead body, that shows up on a certain street in London in 4 different time periods.
Yep.
Once in Victorian times, once in World War II, once in our present day, and once in our future. And it's about the 4 cops investigating this dead body showing up on the street.
Yeah, that doesn't give anything away, because there's so much stuff that happens in each of those.
Yeah.
I love it. The only thing is I'm not good with flashback stuff. So the time hop thing where, you're with this cop and then you're with the other cop. The only good thing is because they're different people and it's different time periods, it's not too hard to follow. For somebody that doesn't have a good attention span, though, this might not work well. But it's really good, though. It is worth watching, for sure.
All right, so that was the 11 things that we watched.
Thanks for listening to the Decahedron RPG podcast. Please come back again to